pounds out of the Republic of Germany, the Clawmaster, Baron von Raschke. Your referee, Joe Fiorino. Now down the ringside.
Thank you, Ken. Very real crowd favorite, Baron von Raschke. Always, wherever he goes throughout the world, Japan, Europe, all over Europe, the Far East, the Middle East, United States, Canada, wherever he appears, a great favorite. Tough wrestler, 300 and some pounds of mean German, believe me. Anyone that thinks he doesn't have strong hands for his squad, I have that clamped on their forehead one time.
All right, Blackjack analysis. Nick Bockwinkel.
Okay, sure.
Former heavyweight champion. Obsessed, outspoken me to become champion for the 4th time. A loss here to Baron von Raschke. What does that do to Bockwinkel?
Well, I'll tell you what it does to Bockwinkel. Puts him right out of the picture, and he's not taking this match with the idea he's going to lose. He doesn't take any match. I don't think any professional wrestler or any athlete of any kind goes in any match with the idea of losing. He's a very confident, a very successful, and a very, very tough, cunning, shrewd. Kind of likes his own interviews, as he says. He is lean and mean, and he knows it all. He is the champion, and in some people's estimation, he's still the champ.
Now it's a 2-man hookup. Now on the other hand, Baron von Raschke, a win over Bockwinkel certainly propels him into a possible shot for a title match.
It surely would. He's always around the top 10.
So really in this one, looking at it objectively, you've got to say in a way that the pressure is really on Nick Bockwinkel.
I would, yes, definitely.
All right, well, there you have it. Expert analysis from an expert in the world of professional wrestling, a man who himself has been former tag team champion of the world, Blackjack Lanza.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how good it was.
You're sitting next to me at 265 pounds, still one of the roughest, toughest men I've ever seen inside the ring. I'm certainly not going to argue.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've been beaten up, and I've done a lot of beating up with myself. I do know that these things do hurt, and I know exactly how these fellows feel, because it's no fun out there at times. When you're taking the punishment, you're going to hurt. You get up in the morning, you can barely get out of bed. And, I know almost every professional wrestler goes through this. One thing about professional wrestling, unlike some sports, professional sports, there is no season. It's year-round.
No doubt about that. Baron von Raschke with the head scissors. And Blackjack, perhaps a bit later on, we'll get a chance to visit. I've noticed a lot of the fans coming by here at ringside asking for your autograph, and the one question everyone seems to ask is, when are we going to see Blackjack Lanza back in the ring?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like sitting here with you. It's a little safer, but one never knows. Right opportunity. I have wrestled not as much as I used to. I did a lot of traveling and talking to different boys groups and things around the country, but I still enjoy wrestling. tear his knee up is what he's trying to do.
And I said to Nick Bockwinkel that whenever he's in the ring, like his style, agree with it or not, he always gives the fans 100%, and they appreciate it. Bockwinkel corrected me, says, no, you're wrong. I give 110%.
Well,
and it's probably something to that.
It surely is. Any athlete that takes pride in his work like Bockwinkel does, in some cases it's not appreciated by his opponents, only by himself, but he is a tough customer. And usually he softens his leg up. He's trying to get it into his figure four. Now he's into an Indian deathlock. A very painful hold. Not only is the hold painful, but with the extra pressure of Bockwinkel pressing down on the Baron's knees, almost splitting the legs apart, taking great pride in exerting as much pressure as he can on the Baron.
Now, one thing we've seen from the Clawmaster, he has perhaps more resiliency than any other man in professional wrestling. I have seen the Baron down and out, look like he was within seconds of being beaten.
Well,
he's been able to dig down and almost become superhuman.
Bockwinkel was screaming at the referee to count those shoulders down. He had a 2 count, almost a 3 count. I don't know if the Baron can get out of this hold. Very difficult hold to get out of. One way of doing it is reaching up and grabbing Bockwinkel by the hair and nailing him, trying to knock him off. But Bockwinkel's, which he tried to do there, but Bockwinkel nailed him with an elbow of his own, which is perfectly legal to do. The forearm smashed the side of the head.
Count of 2, and you were able to pick up Bockwinkel's feelings when Baron was able to lift his shoulder off at the count of 2.
The Baron could try to go for the ropes. The Baron usually doesn't do things like that, but in this case, I think he'd be well off to try to get to the ropes.
Again, Bockwinkel with a forearm. Count of 2 on the Baron.
Bockwinkel's just screaming at the Baron to give up.
Nick Bockwinkel doing everything he can. I don't know. I guess if I was a man, kept hearing Bockwinkel would give me almost more impetus not to submit.
Well, he's not convincing the Baron too much, I don't think. With this hold, you never know how long he can. And if he did get out of it, what good he would do because his legs would be so weak from the punishment.
The circulation has been cut off now for almost a minute.
The Baron is trying to get up and looks like he'd roll over to reverse it.
Look at this.
And he has.
Look at the face on the Baron. Look at the grin on the Clawmaster.
Well, he's not grinning. He's grimacing because he's trying with every little ounce of strength that he has left in those big thighs and legs of his. But see what Bockwinkel does. Bockwinkel gets right to the ropes. The referee, of course, kicks him right off. Now he has to drink. The Baron was very fortunate to get out of this hold the manner in which he did.
But now again, the question is going to be what kind of shape the Baron's legs are going to be in, and really Nick Bockwinkel's at this point.
I don't think there's a good leg between them.
Well, the Baron first to his feet goes right to work now on the hamstring of Bockwinkel.
Baron is the stronger at this point. I didn't think it would happen, but he's given Bockwinkel's leg a pretty good going over.
There you see
right to the eyes. Right to the eyes. When in doubt,
throw the rule book out the window if you're Nick Bockwinkel.
Well, he's had a lot of. Now he's going for the figure 4. Not the Baron is not going to have any part of that. That's one of Bockwinkel's finishing holds, along with about 15 others. He knows every finish hold there is to finish off an opponent.
He does, Blackjack Lancer. You never know where he's going to come from. He's got the sleeper hold. He's got the figure 4 leg lock. He's got the pile driver. I've seen him use an abdominal stretch.
Well, the one thing he's got is a sleeper, which is favorite. The pile driver, the sleeper, and the figure 4. Here comes the Baron. He's mad and he's hot. And when you get the Baron mad, you're going to suffer. Atomic drop right on the tailbone.
Baron now setting him up for crash, and he catches him. Barron with a cover, a count of 2. Bockwinkel able to get out of it.
Call him every bit of reserve energy he has to stop the Baron.
Shot to the breadbasket. That looked like a thrust right to the throat. I tell you, Nick Bockwinkel is very outspoken. He will do absolutely anything he can to keep those shoulders from being pinned to the mat. Inside or most times outside of the rules.
Baron's hurt. Blow to the throat, I believe.
Looked more like
started
a
this
karate chop.
Right, another one.
Looks
Yes,
like what he's doing, keeping the referee out of position.
definitely karate. Learned that from Saito, Mr. Saito.
Bockwinkel goes right back for a cover again. A count of 2. Barron is able to kick out of it.
Baron's too strong. A lot stronger than Bockwinkel thought. Threw him out and then kicked him in the face just for good measure. Now, there's two things. Bockwinkel still nursing his sore leg. By throwing the Baron out, trying to injure him so he can't come back, he has a chance to recoup and exercise that leg.
Now, Bockwinkel goes right to work on the Baron. Slams him right into our television table here at ringside. There's a good shot of the Baron wedged in between our table and the front of the ring. Bockwinkel goes right to work. Right back at him, not even allowing him a chance to get back in the ring.
Baron is definitely hurt, but he's been hurt before. But he's trying to get back in the ring.
Bockwinkel not letting him get in the ring whatsoever. The Baron
Very proud of himself.
certainly in serious trouble right now. Well, they say one picture's worth 1,000 words, so we'll just let you form your own opinion right there of Nick Bockwinkel. 3 times former heavyweight champion of the world. Tremendous accomplishment.
The thing that interests me in this whole thing is Bockwinkel still limping around. He's nursing that leg.
That he is.
I'm not too sure. He wants more time. He doesn't want the Baron to come in. He's deliberately breaking the count of the referee. He's doing 2 things. He's hammering away and softening the Baron up, and he's giving himself time to his leg to get back to normal.
15 minutes elapsed with this one. There you see Bockwinkel now choking him over that second rope. Up and over goes the Baron.
This could be it.
Bockwinkel counted 2. Look at the Baron go to work suddenly on Bockwinkel.
Why the people love him. He softened that head up. Bockwinkel is hurt. Bockwinkel's out of the ring.
And Baron doesn't want to let him go. Look at the Baron. He's got him on the ropes.
Trying to get the claw on him.
Baron keeping him up on the ring apron, hammering away. Bockwinkel just draped over the ropes.
Baron, here he comes with that claw.
Oh. He missed. Now, wait a minute. Bockwinkel turns it around. He's got the sleeper on him, but Bockwinkel is still outside the ropes. Now, I don't know if the referee's counting the Baron out or counting Nick Bockwinkel out for being outside the ropes.
Well, Bockwinkel is outside of the ropes. He's on the apron. He is going to get counted out if he doesn't let that go and get in the ring.
All right.
And that's exactly what happened.
Referee signal for the bell. Nick Bockwinkel thinks he's won the match. Now, we'll have to wait for the official decision. I think you're right, Buck. official decision, but it's
That's
there it
it.
is right there. Right there.
That's it. The referee is telling Bockwinkel, you were out of the ring. You got counted out, a 10 count. Bockwinkel is furious. He had the Baron out with his sleeper, and he's not buying it.
All right, there's the official decision. Referee Joe Fiorino informing us at ringside. Bockwinkel counted out because he was outside of the ropes.
Well, he went to attack the Baron, and the Baron woke up in a heck of a hurry. And Bockwinkel, and right there was the claw. He doesn't. Oh, here comes the Baron, and out goes Bockwinkel. He's had enough. I think he's had all the Baron he wants. And there's your winner.
Your winner again by count out. The Clawmaster, Baron von Raschke. Now here it is. You see Bockwinkel clearly outside the ropes, even his lower feet outside the lower ropes. Referee Joe Fiorino counted out, and there he waves it off.
It's right there as a perfect example of a 10 count out, which you don't see very often. Because usually, but he was stunned enough where I guess he didn't realize he was standing on the outside.
Remember it, not very often you see Nick Bockwinkel outsmarted in a wrestling match, but that's exactly what happened. Don't let the picture fool you. Your winner, the Clawmaster,
I love it.
Baron von Raschke. All right, now wrestling fans, you just saw the match, the Clawmaster, Baron von Raschke against three-time heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel. Nick Bockwinkel, as they say, you have to give credit where credit is due. 3 times you've been the heavyweight champion of the world, the premier wrestler in all the world. You and Ray Stevens, for years, came to be the tag team champions of the world. There is no doubt you're one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. From what I have seen, you have forgotten more wrestling than many men will ever know. You're one of the greatest wrestling tacticians I have ever seen in the ring. You have a tremendous wrestling presence about you inside of the ring. But why do you continually resort to the tactics you do?
It's simple. One might say I'm bored. What it really comes down to is when you have accomplished everything that I have, when you have set the standards that I have, when you've become the epitome of what your sport is, you are the zenith in both the business and the sport end of the world, then what happens is you get back into the ring, and there are those who would like to chip away at your statue. There are those who would like to chip away at your whole essence. And to them, I haven't got time. I'm going to make life miserable for them. I'm going to send grown-up people out into the world. I'm going to make them squeal and cry and whine and moan and groan, so that no matter where they go or who they talk to, when they say, what's been going on in your life, and you can say, the former heavyweight champion of the world just beat me up. He made my life miserable for the past 2 weeks. That's why I do it.
If I may, let me ask you this. I'm well aware, followed your career, admired you in many instances. While sometimes I didn't always agree with some of your tactics in the ring, when you were the heavyweight champion of the world, and a tremendous champion you were at that, you always conducted yourself with a certain degree of dignity. That, in many instances now, does not seem to be the case. Could this be some frustration on your part coming out about being unable to become champion for the 4th time?
Oh, that's very possibly true. I have a definite frustration at the fact that the championship committee and so many of the promoters throughout the world, you know, when you dominate something for 8.5 years, if you win the Blue Cup 8 years in a row, believe me, they want to see somebody different. And they are scared to death that yours truly, if he gets his hands on the championship again, it may be another 8 years. So I can understand. So yes, I may have lowered my standard of dignity. It's still far and above everyone else's. But of course, it's kind of maybe like slumming for me. But I will. I'll take and make life miserable for anybody that steps into the ring with me. And I want them all to go back to the championship committee and tell them exactly where my mind is.
All right, wrestling fans, remember the name. Take a look at the face. He was indeed 3 times former heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel. We'll be back.